My Doctor, your health anytime, anywhere. Hello, lovely people. Welcome to the My Doctor podcast. My name is Mwesigwa Joy. I'm a fourth-year medical student pursuing Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery, and I'm your host for this show. And on this show, we majorly talk about health tips. How can you keep healthy? And remember, a knowledgeable person is a healthy person. So we keep you with knowledge on different health aspects. Yeah. So as you know, the month of love is around the corner, and that's February. And so for this coming season, we're going to be doing topics in line with that. Yeah. Topics about tests to do before marriage, contraception. And for today, that topic is very interesting. I cannot wait for us to get into it. And the topic is the science of falling in love. What happens in your body when you think you're falling in love, or when you're falling in love? What happens when you're experiencing a heartbreak? Why do you get attracted to certain people? Are butterflies real? Oh my God, we're going to be talking about all that, but in a biological aspect. Yeah. So I have a guest right here. His name is Dr. Xavier. I'm going to let him introduce himself. How are you doing, Dr. Xavier?
I'm excited to be here, and my name is Dr. Xavier Ayesiga. It's so easy when you call me Dr. X. And now you're going to know what really happens inside of you when all these things are happening.
Yeah.
Yes. But
Okay.
I'm really, really happy to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Okay, so I think we should start from what does it mean to fall in love before we go into the biology. What does it mean?
If you're human, one of the most intoxicating experiences you have is to be attracted to someone. Most cases, it's someone of your opposite sex. Some people say even other sexes, but falling in love could be with children,
Okay.
could be with adults, but it's you being out of your soul that you want to sacrifice every bit of you for the other person. So now you say, I don't go medical already, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of hormones, there's a lot of your nervous system at play when you're actually in love with someone. Yes.
Okay.
And to break it down, your brain is really involved. And a simple tip for you, the brain is the most sexual organ. It's like everything happens up here in your head.
In the brain.
Yes.
Okay, actually, let's dive into that. What happens in my brain, like if I am falling in love or I'm attracted to someone?
It's stages. So falling in love is basically 3 stages. You have the lust, then you have the attachment, and then you have the last one, that is attraction. So what happens in each of these stages, before I go too deep, I'll say that lust is that initial physical desire. It's like you're driven by sex hormones, testosterone mostly, and estrogen. And testosterone is not just for men, it's also in women. It's the hormone that makes your mind want to be aggressive and be with someone physically. And it plays a very big role also in the libido later on if you go past the other stages of your relationship. Yeah. But these hormones kind of prime your body for reproduction. They make you ready to be with someone. And the fun fact is that the butterflies that you feel in your stomach are real.
Okay.
That feeling is, that's your autonomic nervous system kicking in. It's kind of signaling to you that, oh, you've found someone and your body's excited about them. The second step is attraction. Okay. And this is the honeymoon phase, sort of. It's like you're obsessed with your partner. Everything about them fascinates you. And you can't stop thinking about them. And being so near to them makes you feel happy and makes your heart race. So in this stage, it's mostly dopamine. Dopamine is the reward hormone. It's the feel-good neurotransmitter that is responsible for pleasure and reward. So this is why new love feels so euphoric. It's like the same chemical released when you eat chocolate or you win a jackpot. That's dopamine for you. The other one is adrenaline.
Okay.
Adrenaline, like norepinephrine, that's what we call it in the medical field. And this increases your heart rate, your energy, and makes you focus on your partner. That's in the second step of honeymoon or attraction. And
that's under adrenaline.
Yes, adrenaline.
So,
yes.
but then, so there are some people who don't focus on their partners. What's happening? Like the adrenaline is not present.
Now, that is actually played by the last chemical called serotonin.
Okay.
Now, interestingly, when you're attracted to someone, the serotonin level is lower. Serotonin is the same hormone that makes you feel your position in power, in space. It's like, okay, if someone is depressed, we give them SSRIs. SSRIs are chemicals that stop the uptake of serotonin. So when you're depressed, I'm going to relate this. That's why I'm giving this kind of analog. So like when you're depressed, you're low on serotonin. So we want it to stay there in your brain so that you feel more valuable and in a good position of sense. So now in love, it's also low, but to a level that lets you let yourself out of the space for the person you're attracted to take the center stage.
Okay.
So the adrenaline is there, but some people, the levels match. Don't kind of vary.
Yeah.
They're not like the same levels everywhere. But also, serotonin makes some other people. Have you seen people who like someone, then they try to ignore them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then other people can't stop staring at them, looking at them. So we have those differences, but the biology is underlyingly the same.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. So the last one was supposed to be attachment. And this is the long-term bond that develops after the initial excitement fades away. It's what keeps couples together for years. And some people are lucky to have this for decades. And what really happens is that oxytocin, wow, everyone knows it as the cuddle hormone or the love hormone. It is released during physical intimacy, like hugging, even sex, but also during breastfeeding and childbirth. And oxytocin deepens trust and emotional connection.
Okay.
Yeah, and the fun fact there is that male children suckle different from girl children.
Really?
And it also explains partly why mothers are always a little bit more closely related to their sons. Yeah, than the girls. So these things are happening in our bodies without us controlling them. When it's the one that you really want, the attachment becomes easier. The last thing I would say about attachment is that vasopressin, it's a hormone that controls the water you have in your body. I don't know if you've heard of ADHD. Yes, you're a health worker, you know about that. So this one controls how much of the water your body releases. But water here refers to homeostasis, how much of you is available. So that's why sometimes you feel like you want to run to the toilet when you love someone. That's why you feel like butterflies are flying inside of you. The attachment is that this person has now been elevated. Their worth in your life is different. You didn't know them, they were strangers, but now when you meet them and these things happen inside you, they carry a different relevancy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we have talked about all these hormones and they're obviously present in our body. But why is it that we are attracted to some people and not others? Because if you have the hormones, we could think that if I look at anyone, I will get the butterflies, the oxytocin, the everything. So why is it that we get attracted to certain people for all these body changes to happen?
Wow, that's a great question. Yeah. And it's a mix of psychology, biology, and sometimes sheer randomness. So for starters, we are often drawn to people who feel familiar. It's like this could mean they share traits with your family or past partners. Whether that's comforting or creepy, you decide. But on a deeper level, evolution plays a role. Your brain is subconsciously scanning for signs of good genes. Things like symmetry, a health grow, and even a voice that makes you swan. So, let's not forget the pheromones that I talked about in the start. So those invisible chemical signals, and studies show that women prefer the natural scent of men whose immune system genes complement theirs. So if you've sniffed someone and thought, wow, I like the future, the science is behind it. So the chemicals and all the things I explained are geared to some specific person, but mostly because of our own making. It's like you fall for what attracts you. You don't do this to everyone that you meet. And the reason is their makeup kind of fits with your makeup. Yes.
So that takes me to us saying that, because most people say that most times men are attracted to women who are like their mothers, or females to men like their fathers. So that's when this comes into play, right? Yes. Yeah, okay. So also, why does love become addictive at a point? Is that also scientific? At what point does it become addictive and why? And is that okay? Are we supposed to solely depend on these people scientifically?
Okay, when you say addictive, Absolutely. Love is more like a drug, and it's not just metaphorically. Brain scans show that romantic love activates the same reward centers as addictive drugs like cocaine. Yeah. And dopamine floods your system, making you crave your partner the way you'd crave for your next coffee fix. So, the good part is that this is the healthiest addiction you'll have in your life. Well, unless it becomes unhealthy. But it is true that love means so much and breakups hurt much because we've become really, really dependent on this person for how we feel. And when you lose your partner, your brain goes through a lot of things. And seeing them on Instagram, Snapchat keeps reminding you of them 3 years ago and all that. It's because they take you back to the same mental space that cocaine or alcohol, those real addictive drugs do to you. So it's true, love is really addictive.
Okay, so also these hormones that you're talking about are also present in animals, right? Fish have these hormones, rats have these hormones. So are you trying to say that these animals also kind of go through what we go through?
That's a question that is going to be answered beautifully like this. Love languages exist. So these animals have love languages, only that we humans can't decode them. But the beauty of science is that now we can tell from their genes, because we're now coding for genes of very many different animals, but also we have done a lot in behavior science. I'll tell you about Skinner. Skinner is like one of the most renowned behavior scientists in the world. And Skinner is known for his rats. So what Skinner did, he could put male and female rats, put food, and then put mating. At a certain level, they would choose mating over food. But also the mannerisms and all the behaviors they would do before mating seemed like the real courtship we go through. And to take you even to the simplest of the nervous systems we've studied so much about lobsters. Lobsters live in the water down, and their nervous systems are so easy to look at with science. So in lobsters, the male dominant one, the one that is really responsible, the one that the genes it carries are worth being carried to the next generation, usually gets most of the girls, gets most of the best sleeping places. But what do the girls do to attract him? Because right now we are watching them. So they put on their best pheromone, like it's like a chemical, it's like a love song. Actually, also know about love songs from elephants. We know what a female elephant sounds or trumpets when it wants to attract men. And also, the men go through a struggle. So, yes, these hormones and the love thing is across the whole evolutionary spectrum. God created us to love, and I think it's the biggest commandment. So the animals also have the same commandment. Yeah. Fun fact, there's a species of spiders that when they are in famine, there's nothing to eat. The mother puts on her best pheromone, like her most attractive self, attracts the male. They have coitus or sex. After sex, the male is consumed.
Consumed what?
Eaten by the mother and the children. But she's using sex to trap him into the relationship. So as scientists, we are so focused on the chemicals and how it does that. So it's like someone traps you, a sort of naked weapon, a human naked weapon. It happens in spiders. Yeah.
So we have talked about love, love, love. So I would want us to dig into a bit of heartbreak. So maybe if something has not worked out and someone is going through a heartbreak, what is happening in their brain? What can they do about it?
Heartbreak hurts because your brain treats it like physical pain. Yes. And when you lose someone you love, your anterior cingulate cortex, the same area that processes physical pain, lights up. The part of your brain that processes physical pain lights up if you really lose someone you love. And on top of that, the dopamine and oxytocin you were swimming in during love suddenly plummet. So it's like your brain goes cold turkey after a drug binge. That's why heartbreak feels like withdrawal. You are literally missing your fix of love hormones. And the medical term is Takotsubo syndrome. I don't know if you heard about it. We actually have a medical term for heartbreak, Takotsubo syndrome. And it's a real condition where extreme stress or heartbreak can weaken your heart muscles, sort of mimicking a heart attack. So yeah, love can really hurt. But the second part of that question you asked on what to do, Remember, you've created a craving for these hormones. You've created an addiction on your brain for this person and everything that they make you go through. Now, what to do? You have to taper that. And I keep telling people, you have to narrow down the time frames. It's like, if it's so hard on you, try to go through the hour first, then go through the day, then a week. You have to see things. Okay, first survive through the shortest time possible. But also focus on the other aspects of your life. Because you don't exist only in the relationship. Sometimes you support Arsenal, Manchester United, or you love a certain musician, or maybe you have other things you do. Maybe you have people you work with. The best support for you when this one relationship has plummeted, has failed, is to put some more energy on those other things that are working out. That's the time you have to give your mother a call, your father a call, and just say, "Hi, Dad, how are you? I'm checking on you." They will light up. They will make you see the worth that you carry, so that you don't focus on all the insufficiencies you think you have because the other person left you. Yeah. Because the worst part also of the heartbreak is that you start thinking you're not enough for them. Why do they have to move on? And it's too bad if they cheated on you or they got someone else. You start to think, oh, am I enough? You start questioning your own self, and all your insecurities come afloat. So the first step is go through the day, celebrate everything, celebrate every week as you move from that person. Then to put a lot of energy on the other things in your life, the other aspects of your life, your family, your friends, your work. Distract your mind from this person. Then the last one is pray or go to church. Maybe you'll find someone else.
Okay, as we come to the end, so I have another question. If someone has hormonal imbalance,
okay,
like they are lacking some of these hormones, their body is lacking dopamine, lacking all these hormones, or they have a high level of serotonin, is it possible that they may not be able to fall in love? Will that affect their ability to get attracted to someone?
Love is not just only hormones, only that they are the ones running the show. Love is also physical touch. That's why some people, it's so easy to have intimacy with this one person and then move on to another person. We are a little bit built different because there are people who respond to the touch. Someone sees the way you treat them, the physical sort of thing, then it changes their mind to that. Then there are people who are so much of the mind, because there's these 5 languages someone described, but he was just trying to describe how some people overemphasize certain aspects of the love bit. There are people who are in love just because of the status the other person carries. You're dating a man who has a car, so someone is like, oh, it's our car. Then you're dating a guy who looks handsome, who is on TV every day, like, oh, I'm actually also on TV through him. But remember, you just be him and with him under bed sheets, you know. So, but that feeling that it puts on your mind that I'm this worth because I'm associated with this person is what makes those different love bits. So, to answer you plainly, when you have hormonal imbalances, it shows in very many ways, but also it shows on your bit to connect. Yeah, so it affects, but it's not the only thing that decides if you're going to be in love. Because part of our medical practice, we treat people who have hormonal imbalances. And to just give you a quick one, we're having very many rates of infertility, surprisingly, in this country. And the form of infertility, mostly in women, that disturbs is the one where the hormones are not enough. And the hormones are not enough because of something that happened sometimes earlier in their lives. Or sometimes you're just born like that, you know. And as a doctor or a doctor to be, you know that hormones work in cascades. This one kicks in another one. So if this one is not there, we sometimes struggle to get this.
Get this one,
Yeah. So that sort of thing. But we can improve that. Yeah, we have got supplements that do the same thing. Yeah. And also lifestyle. So much about lifestyle and the things that you know.
Okay, so you talked about love languages. Let's talk about that for a bit, because someone could be confused. What are the love languages you're talking about? Yeah.
So basically, the concept of love languages was coined by Dr. Gary. And here he talks about a continuum of things that make people stick to each other or feel loved. And how these people want it to be reciprocated, to like given back to them. And this one is the secret to the love that lasts. And there were basically 5 love languages. And the first one is words of affirmation. And here you're expressing love through verbal praise, compliments. Oh, you look beautiful. Oh, you look like this. And encouragements. Oh, honey, you're going to make it. And basically kind words. And it matters for some people because hearing this reinforces their emotional bond. The person that you have butterflies for saying, oh, actually, you're beautiful, makes you feel like, oh, I'm actually connected to them. The second one is acts of service. And in acts of service, you show love by doing helpful tasks or making life easier for your partner. So this could be like cooking them a meal, running errands for them, or fixing something they need.
Opening the door before the lady enters.
And that's why the ladies learned, can you do me a favor urgently?
Because
something, this man wants to do something for you. He wants to prove that he's there for you. Yeah, Then the guy says, come see me, and it's now different. So yeah, but it matters because actions speak more often louder than words for some people. And some people value this more. So you can say I love you with a paragraph or send that 20K urgently. Which one do you think will work?
Maybe it depends on the love language.
That's beautiful. That's the concept, actually, that someone would want to see the paragraph on their birthday, that midnight paragraph. That's how that person just wants the mobile money message.
Ugandan women think acts of service.
Now, the third one is receiving gifts. Okay. And this one is controversial because we say receiving gifts. And it means giving, but also receiving tangible symbols of love and thoughtfulness. When someone sends you a text, it's a gift that they're thinking about you. But in this specific love language, someone wants you to give them something they can put their hands on, And it means you have to learn to surprise them with their favorite snack. Simple things like that. And also a meaningful gift. Someone carries jewelry around them. And that's why we all have these expensive watches and necklaces, because it's something hanging on your neck. Someone called it a fraud crystal. A diamond is a fraud crystal. But to this person, it comes from the love of their life. So it's not just another diamond. Even if it's a cup, it carries more meaning to them. And most of us men have to learn to gift. We just send the money, yet the other person would want you to use the money to buy something for them. Tangible. Then Ugandan women have to go to school and learn to gift their men. We are tired of being given socks and,
belts.
Yeah, belts. You have all those vests from all those people, Yeah.
Please, Ugandan women, hope you've had no more socks, no more belts, no more vests. Get creative.
Yeah, get really creative. Then the fourth one is quality time. And it means spending focused, undivided time together. When I say focused, it's like the phones go away. You just be in that person's chest and talk about the things you want to see in life. It's like everything else ceases to have meaning except that person. And you could do this, maybe exercise, jogging together, maybe, but it's so much, the two of you, it may not be an enclosed space, but where it carries meaning, And quality time means you could also have deeper conversations. Sometimes you're very far from each other. So you spend 2 hours talking about all the fantasies, planning the many kids you want to have that you never eventually have. Or planning a midnight date, Yeah, but it matters because people value this and they feel loved when they are under your full engagement. It's like you could be anywhere else in the world, but you'd rather be with them. That carries meaning. So the last one, and the one that is most emphasized, is physical touch. So this looks at expressing love through physical closeness and touch. And it involves things like holding hands, hugging, cuddling, or a simple pat on the back. And why it really matters, physical connection fosters intimacy and gives that emotional reassurance. You're going to find very many couples in your life that argue about very many things. But when they hug or when they kiss or they make out, everything goes through the window. Have you seen those things where we're like, we thought you break up, but they're still together because the physical love between them takes everything else. And physical touch is not so much appreciated in our culture. We have to improve on that. When you're dating someone who is maybe from Europe or American, it's so easy for couples to hold hands, maybe hug in public. But here we raise that those things happen only in the bedroom, which is not right.
Okay, so is it possible for someone to have all the 5, or most people have like 2, So should you like study your partner and know what their love language is so that you can,
We actually on a continuum. A continuum, I mean, no one has just one of them or just two of them. We all want all the five of them. Only that we want them on varying levels. There are people who are more interested in the physical touch. There are people who are more invested in the gifting. Then there are people who actually want the sort of quality time. But you have to give time to yourself and understand your partner. What carries more meaning to them? And the beautiful thing about life and relationships is that if you listen closely, if you watch closely, she will tell you. If she's sending you a text, probably she's thinking about you. What is the content of the text? You may find they're not asking for gifts all the time, but they're telling you their problems indirectly so that you could help them. And sometimes they don't want you to pay for the problem they're having. They just want you to say, honey, this is how we go forward. They just want that sort of word affirmation. Though, I don't know, if a woman tells you, I've not had lunch, does it mean send the mobile money for lunch? Or it means, oh, honey, I haven't had lunch too. You know? There's that. So you get to know that she wants me to check on her at that time, or she wants me to send the money for lunch. So everyone has them, but to different levels.
To different levels. So also, we talked about how animals also have love languages, yeah? I want to take you back there. So do like animals, most times on farms, I think we think animals are just mating for like reproduction. Do they also fall in love? Or like, do they like, can cows wink at each other? And like, can a cow see another female and they're like, yeah, that one? Or it's just, for them, it's just business of reproduction?
Actually, it's not. And one of the most fun TikToks or even documentaries you watch is compilations of animals in love. Cats, if you have a cat at home, are very emotional and relational people. She will want, she will want to come and be in your chest. She will want you to cuddle them. There's a video that was moving around of a dog that was being patted on the back. And every time the person stopped, it kept pulling back the hand. Then there are those small things. Have you seen the smile of a dog when it sees you? So, yes, those are domesticated animals. They watch us do these things. Have you seen how a dog waggles its tail when the person that it loves most has showed up? You know? Those are also signs of love. But to answer you plainly, even cows on a farm, there's a way they express this love. And they don't just mate. And the heat period, you see them in action, you see them mating, and you're like, oh, this is just happening. It is something that has been worked. How do they choose who to mate with? Have you ever wondered?
I thought it's just heat period. Like they see a cow on heat, they're like, oh, okay.
No. Okay, let me use lions. Are very well studied. One of the easiest forms of love to see from lions, the lioness is faster, stronger than the lion. But the male lion carries that majestic thing about it. So when they are in battle, and also lions are the only social cats. Like most cats hunt separately, tigers, leopards, but lions hunt in groups and in formations. So when the most dominant lion is under threat, the female lion protects its jugulars, these veins, because simple tap here, you're dead. Actually, that's the treasure they're looking for. So the female keeps fighting in the side of this to protect the male one. You know, that's a sign of love. But even that, lions have sometimes chosen mating with that female over food after a hunt. And the other fun fact through that, because I'm showing you how these structures are organized, these kind of societies, when they hunt and win, the male lion, the one that they were protecting, supposed to feast first. But most cases, it feasts for a little while because they don't pack food like these animals, other animals that chew cud. So after that, then they will be mating. Now, the coincidence of that and the choice is like the one that was protecting it is the one now he's having good time with. It's not the other females in the herd. And the other time you could see lions show their affection, when you are above 40, you are old, they tend to chase you away from the herd, like from where you work. So the female protects that dominant one, that is not killed by the young ones. You know, so the acts of love are very many, only that we are not very subtle to see them. But with chemicals and science, we can see them secret these chemicals and know that this is happening and this is going on in their body. Yeah.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I'm sure we have learned a lot from this episode. So as we close, I want you to give any closing remarks that you have to the people in regards to the science of falling in love.
It's been an amazing session, and I would want to leave this with anyone watching. Love is a beautiful thing. Don't let the very many stories you hear that go wrong distract you from being in love, and also risking to be vulnerable in love, because your body was built for this. It's kind of the highest, it's sort of the highest form of worship, if I can say. It's like you find someone, risk your bad manners, you risk their bad manners and make that work out. Nothing is going to beat that. And also through love, we get family and children. Children give you a sense of purpose. So don't fear the small hurdles that come along with falling in love to take you away from the big prize that comes with a very good relationship. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. We have enjoyed the session. Hope the audience has enjoyed like me. Hope you've understood what happens in your body when all these things are happening to you. And as we approach this month of love, hope you will be knowing when you feel happy and feel better, you're like, oh, dopamine. Yeah. So hope you've learned a lot. We're going to have Dr. Xavier again next week talking about the tests to do before entanglement. Now we have learned about falling in love. So you're falling in love. So what do we do after? What tests should we do before we take this relationship to other steps? Yeah. So please tune in. The next Saturday we'll be having that episode. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this far. This is the My Doctor podcast. My name is Mwesigwa Joy. My Doctor, your health anytime, anywhere.
My Doctor, your health anytime, anywhere.